Jack, tired of the city bustle, decided to move to an old house on the outskirts of a quiet suburban area. The house was large, a little shabby, but quite cozy. He wanted peace, quiet, and solitude, something he had been looking for a long time. The neighbors he met during the first days looked friendly, but as soon as the conversation turned to the house, their faces changed. "This house is special," said one of the neighbors, an elderly woman with a heavy look. "In what sense?" Jack chuckled, putting boxes on the threshold. "Some people here, laughter there," she answered, lowering her voice. "Children's, but the house has been empty for many years. Be careful." Jack just waved it off. Probably the wind through the old chimneys or someone's inventions. I'm not one of those who are scared by such stories. Nothing strange happened for the first week. Jack enjoyed the quiet of the house, tidying it up, putting things away. But one night, lying in bed, he suddenly woke up. It was about 2 a.m, and the house was completely silent. But as soon as he concentrated, he heard it. A quiet, barely audible sound, a light child's laughter, as if somewhere downstairs. The next night, the laughter happened again. Jack was sitting in the living room working on his laptop when he heard it again. A quiet, ringing, childish laugh came from somewhere deep inside the house. At first, he thought it was coming from the street, but when he looked out the window, the street was deserted and the air was dead silent. He checked the entire house, including the basement and attic, but found nothing strange. "I guess I'm just stressed," he muttered, turning off the light and going to bed. However, the strangeness began to increase. A few days later, he noticed his first toy, a small wooden soldier standing in the middle of the hallway. Jack was sure that he did not have such a thing. "What the hell?" he muttered, picking up the soldier. He searched the house, trying to find an explanation, but no one could have left this toy. He lived alone. The next night, he woke up to the sound of a ball rolling across the floor. When he turned on the light, the ball, red with white stripes, was lying by his bedroom door. Jack didn't remember buying the toys, and he certainly didn't leave them in the house. The laughter was worse. It sounded closer now, as if someone was laughing in the next room. It was light, ringing, but there was an unnatural coldness to it that made his skin crawl. When he went down to the kitchen in the morning, he found folding blocks there. The letters on them spelled out the word play. Jack tried to convince himself that it was a dream. "Maybe it's just accumulated fatigue," he told himself. But no matter how much he put the toys away, they always came back. And each time there were more of them. Dolls, cars, teddy bears. They appeared in the most unexpected places. One night he heard something fall in the living room. He turned on the flashlight and went to check, and his gaze fell on the chair. There sat an old porcelain doll in a long dress, with dark, empty eyes that seemed to be looking straight at him. That night, Jack was awakened again by a sound. This time, it was a soft, drawn-out creak, as if someone had gently opened his bedroom door. He sat up in bed, his heart pounding. The room was dark. Only the faint light from the moon, shining through the curtains, illuminated part of the floor. And there, in the corner, he saw a silhouette. It was a child. The figure of a small boy with thin shoulders and a bowed head. The boy stood motionless, but it seemed as if he was breathing. Jack froze, unable to even move, his gaze riveted on this strange visitor. "Who are you?" he whispered in a breaking voice. The boy slowly raised his head, His face was pale, with sunken cheeks and large, empty eyes. He was smiling, but this smile was cold, unnatural, as if rehearsed. The child took the first step towards the bed. The floorboards creaked, and at that moment, Jack felt all the warmth leave the room. "You're here!" the child whispered in a quiet, echoing voice. Jack stepped back until his back hit the wall. His breathing became rapid and shallow. The boy took a few more steps. Now he was standing at the edge of the bed, looking straight at Jack. In his hands was the same porcelain doll that Jack had found on the chair a few days ago. "Game over," the child whispered, and the light in the room flickered and then went out. In the pitch darkness, Jack heard the sound of toys moving on their own. Blocks clacked, balls rolled across the floor, and the whispers of many voices surrounded him from all sides. When the light came back on, the room was empty. Only toys were everywhere, on the bed, on the floor, on the shelves, and in the corner of the room stood the same doll, but now its empty eyes looked straight at him. Jack tried to run out of the house, but the doors wouldn't open. Every time he tried to go out, he found himself back in the bedroom. The house wouldn't let him out. Now he was part of a game that never ended.